On Saturday night, July 26, 2025, Israeli naval forces intercepted a humanitarian aid vessel named Handala in international waters approximately 40 nautical miles from the coast of Gaza. The ship, operated by the Freedom Flotilla coalition, was carrying critical supplies, including baby formula, food, and medical resources, aimed at addressing the escalating humanitarian crisis in the Palestinian territory. This dramatic interception marks the latest chapter in a series of efforts to deliver aid to Gaza amidst ongoing conflict and restrictions. Live-streamed footage captured the tense moment when Israeli troops boarded the Handala around midnight local time, or 2140 GMT. According to the Freedom Flotilla coalition, the cameras broadcasting the operation were abruptly cut, and all communications with the vessel were lost shortly after the boarding began. The coalition described the interception as a violent act, emphasizing that the ship was in international waters and posed no threat. On board were 21 civilians from 12 countries, including parliamentarians, lawyers, journalists, labor organizers, environmentalists, and human rights defenders, all united in their mission to protest Israel's ongoing war in Gaza and highlight the dire humanitarian situation. Israel's foreign ministry confirmed the Navy's operation, stating that the Handala was stopped to prevent an illegal breach of Gaza's maritime zone. In a post on X, the ministry described unauthorized attempts to enter the area as dangerous, unlawful, and detrimental to established humanitarian efforts. The vessel was escorted to the Israeli port of Ashdod, with authorities reporting that all passengers were safe. The cargo, intended for direct distribution to a population facing severe food and medical shortages, was seized during the operation. This incident follows a similar interception on June 12, when the Madleen, another ship operated by the Freedom Flotilla coalition, was detained by Israeli forces. Among the 12 activists on board was environmental activist Greta Thunberg, who, along with others, was deported after the vessel was seized. Both missions aim to draw global attention to the worsening conditions in Gaza, where reports of starvation-related deaths and acute hunger have surged due to restrictions on aid deliveries. The Freedom Flotilla coalition condemned Israel's actions, asserting that the non-military cargo was meant to support a population enduring what they describe as deliberate starvation under an illegal blockade. The group called for the immediate release of the detained activists and the delivery of the seized aid to Gaza's residents who are grappling with a humanitarian catastrophe. In a related development, Israel's military announced on Saturday that it would begin airdrops of aid into Gaza to address the growing crisis. The army also pledged to establish humanitarian corridors for United Nations convoys, signaling a potential shift in response to mounting international pressure. However, the interception of the Handala underscores the challenges of delivering aid through unofficial channels, as Israel maintains strict control over Gaza's maritime and land access. The international community has increasingly voiced concern over the humanitarian situation in Gaza, where restrictions on aid have exacerbated food insecurity and medical shortages. The United Nations and various human rights organizations have called for unrestricted access to deliver life-saving supplies, while activists like those aboard the Handala continued to risk detention to spotlight the crisis. As this story develops, questions remain about the fate of the detained activists and the seized cargo, as well as the broader implications for humanitarian efforts in Gaza. The interception of the Handala highlights the ongoing tensions surrounding aid delivery and the complex dynamics of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.